So we all know why we're here today. It's marriage. We've come together to celebrate a beautiful and wonderful couple, Allie and Kevin. A lot of the time these days there's a question, why do we get married? Why do we bother getting married? Well, I think you guys have figured it out. It's a commitment to one another, a public commitment to one another. It's a partnership, a team. You come together to provide a secure environment for love, vulnerability, children, God, and communication. It's an acknowledgement of your desire for companionship, to not face this life alone. From the very beginning, we find this in Genesis. God looked around in creation and said, "Oh, this is all good," until he got to Adam. And he's like, "Oh, you're alone. That's not so good. I'm going to make you a partner." So he made him a woman, Eve, to spend the rest of his life with. In that same way, God has made sure that neither of you will be alone. He created you, Kevin, for Allie, and Allie for Kevin, to find each other one day and spend the rest of your lives together. And your story thus far reminds me of this. You guys went through quite extraordinary lengths, some might say, to be together, to see each other. It began as many a modern love story does, online. You talked, and 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 then you talked some more, and some more, and some more, until finally you decided, okay, let's meet in person. So Kevin drove 2.5 hours just to see you. A 5-hour round trip just to go on a date. I mean, that's some commitment right there, just to go on a date. As time went on, you eventually moved closer to her, smart move. And you spent a lot of time going on adventures. You went camping, you went dirt biking, hiking, exploring all over the place. And as time went on, you found that you could not do those things for the rest of your lives without each other permanently. So on one of your many adventures, Kevin decided to make it permanent, and he asked Allie to marry him. As I talked with you both, we discovered that one of your texts that you found to be important is found in Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 10. But as I looked at it more, I saw something else beyond that. And so I added a couple verses, 11 and 12. And it says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But how can one keep warm alone?" Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. And as we read and listen to those words, we see the repetition of a theme that is consistent throughout the Bible. We should not go through this life alone. Started from the very beginning, continued all the way to the end, and it still continues today. When we join together as husband and wife, we become a team, the most synchronized team, to the point that we are one, working to support, lift up, and work with one another. Now, this passage in Ecclesiastes, it gives 4 examples as to how 2 are better than 1. It starts off by saying 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. Now, I'm not going to lie to you and say that marriage is not work. All right, it is. Just ask my wife. She'll tell you how hard it can be being married to me sometimes. But when you work together, you get good returns for your labor. You both bring skills, thoughts, opinions, and character to the table that will benefit you both as you navigate the difficulties and joys that life will bring your way. The second example is, if either of them falls down, one can help the other up. Now, you both like going on adventures, dirt biking. Now imagine doing that by yourself, and then you fell into a ditch or down a hill. It'd be hard to get back up. But when you go together, you always have somebody watching your back, making sure that when you fall, when you struggle, when you stumble, they can help you out. Lean on one another and lift each other up. Thirdly, it says, also if 2 lie down together, they will keep warm. they didn't have heaters in their houses back in those days. It was hard to carry the warm blankets around when they would travel. They didn't have cars, so it was cold at night. So they would lie down close together to keep warm. These days, we don't have to do that. I would recommend you still do, but you didn't have to do that these days. We rely on one another for things that we cannot bring. Things that we cannot do, we rely on the other person. The fourth example, though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. Now, I really pray that you guys aren't physically attacked. More likely, though, you will find your thoughts, your feelings, your dreams, or even your marriage under attack by outside forces. Stand together, back each other up. You think as soldiers, one standing alone can get easily surrounded and attacked from behind. But two can stand back to back and watch out for each other, protecting them, providing guidance. So I implore you to always have each other's back, even when you don't agree, even when you don't see eye to eye and just don't understand. Always watch out for each other. Now, these examples emphasize over and over again the importance of teamwork. Your lifetime companions, and therefore you got to come together to work together, otherwise it's going to be difficult. I know it sounds easier said than done, and that leads to the last example, and perhaps for me the most important. It seems a little out of place in this, but it says a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Now, if you know anything about cord or rope, a 1-stranded rope, 2-stranded cord, they can be pretty easily broken when pulled on hard enough. But a 3-strand rope is so much stronger. And that's where God comes into the picture. God is that 3rd strand. And when he is invited into a marriage, it grows stronger. Our reliance and faith in him adds the knowledge that there is a plan for our lives. When we struggle, when we can't seem to figure out things together, we know that there's somebody else that we can turn to for some guidance. Keep that relationship alive, just as you do your own. And as we close, I wanted to add my own 2 bits of wisdom that I have learned in my long years of being married. And so it's really only 2. And that is, keep your own dreams and hopes alive. You have come together to serve as one together, but don't let that keep you from your own passions, your own dreams. Continue with those. And the second is communication. That is key. We all know how to talk. Some of us a little too much, some of us not enough, but we all know how to do it. It's listening that can be the hard part, especially for one half of the relationship at times. I won't point any fingers as to what gender that might be. But it's gonna be difficult to do that. So you have to remember, listening isn't a competition. It's not listening to respond. So Allie, when you're listening to Kevin, don't listen to come back with a solution. Come back with, this is this is the next thing. And Kevin, when you're listening to Allie, listen. Enjoy what she's saying, absorb it. And there's a kind of a funny story that I like to tell about that. And it's Franklin Delano Roosevelt. One day he was at a big state thing, and he was noticing that people weren't listening to him. They would just say, "Oh, great, wonderful, keep up the good work." And so he began to say, "I murdered my grandmother last night." And people would still say, "Oh, great, keep up the good work, we're so proud of you." They weren't listening to him at all. Until finally he got to one delegate and he said, "I murdered my grandmother last night." And the man said, "I'm sure she had it coming." I don't know if that's a true story or not, but somebody finally listened to him. So listen to each other. You never know what you might hear, what you might get to experience and learn about the other person. Now you have both found the one that your heart loves, the one that your heart has sought after. Hold on to one another and never let go. I pray that you both are a blessing to one another and that God's blessings are poured out throughout your lives together. The couple has decided to, as their unity symbol, to have a wine box. And in this box, they are going to be placing memories, thoughts, joys together, that when they come across struggles and they come across difficulties that seem just too much to bear, they can turn to this box, sit down, enjoy a glass of wine together, and go through these memories. Remind themselves what they are doing this for, because there's going to be hard times. And remember the joys, remember the commitment that you have made to work through those things together. So at this time, they will be taking care of that wine box, and afterwards they will also be signing the marriage certificate, because we have a couple witnesses that signed that with them, but they wanted everybody here to witness their official declaration of their union together. All right.
Jesse, you can get cards.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're supposed to do with the wine box, just make sure everything's in it.
Yeah, I think so. Where's the pen? Do you have it?
Dom, do you have your pen?
And we'll fill out the top part later.
Okay.
So sign it as your maiden name. It's the last time you'll do that. As well. Right. We have to fix the dress again. Now they have decided to write each other their own personal vows, expressing their love and their joy and their commitment to one another. Kevin, go first.
Allie. I used to hate who I was. I never thought I deserved to be happy or to be loved by anyone. When I met you, I was guarded, and yet through all that, you saw beneath my flaws to the person inside of me who just wanted to be loved. You helped to show me that it's okay to be loved, to love someone else, and it's okay to be happy. You built me up and gave me something I never thought I deserved, something I never thought I could have. You gave me purpose, and you gave me love. All right. So, from the first time we met, I knew things were different. You built me up and supported me through the hard times, and you've helped me to celebrate the good times. You've been so dedicated not only to our relationship, but most importantly to our friendship. I found in you the soulmate I never knew existed. And I know that when times get tough, I have the best spotter I could ask for to help me lift the load when it's too heavy for me to handle. I know traditionally people make a bunch of promises in their vows. However, I'm not going to make promises I can't keep. I'm not going to promise that I will never get angry or that things will always be amazing. However, I will say that I will do my best. I will do my best to be patient and understanding. I will always do my best to sit down and talk when things are wrong. I will always do my best to communicate my feelings to you, no matter good or bad. I will always do my best to try and hear and see your side of things. I will always do my best to try and build you up and support you, even if I don't agree with the decision. I will always do my best to let you know how important you are and how much I love you. I will promise to love you in both good times and bad. I will promise to protect and support you. I will promise to never half-ass our marriage and always give you 100% of myself. I will promise to be there when you need a spotter. And I promise to always grab your butt, even at inappropriate times. Alexandria Lene Trees, I love you more than words can express. I'm so honored that you chose me to spend your life with. And I cannot wait for every second that life brings us.
Allie, can you do it?
I think so. I don't know if I could top that. I'll try.
It's not about topping. It's about working together.
Not everything's a competition, but we like to bring it in every now and then. Alright. Kevin, the first time I met you was due to chance. A 50-50% chance, as a matter of fact. The first night of our first date was exciting for me, as I waited there like a little schoolgirl at my house waiting for my date to pick me up. It was an instant connection from the first hello. This gradually grew as we found so many more interests that we had in common, especially our giants. I couldn't help but go home and tell my mom what an amazing night I had had with such an amazing man. When I knew it was the real deal was when you wanted to introduce me to your friends, trying to convince me that that was a make it, break it kind of thing. Until you couldn't even wait till I met them before you made it official. Becoming yours was the happiest day. I was not fully aware of the many fun memories and adventures that were yet to come. In the beginning, it was a struggle with balancing finishing my degree in college and working full-time at the hospital to make the much-needed time to come see you in New Meadows. The first day we said I love you was a day I'll never forget. As we sat enjoying your work Christmas celebration, you kept taking a few pictures. Little did I know that you were going to post them, stating that you have finally fallen in love again and how much in a short time a person's life can change for the better. With me not looking at this or aware of it, I couldn't wait any longer and pounced on you and gave you a ton of kisses, saying I can't hold it in any longer, I love you. As I sat trying to write my vows that would explain fully my love for you, it was very difficult. I love you in so many ways that I feel like I could have made this last hours. You are my forever adventure buddy. And all of our adventures taken around McCall and New Meadows and all of the Florida trips in California were just the start. Our life together has been one big adventure. Fishing, camping trips, trips to the beach, the mountains, and even more fishing. The life I have with you is the best, and I am so over the moon ecstatic to be able to call you my husband. Kevin, I may not make promises, but I do promise to always love you even if I don't like you at that very moment. I promise to be there for you every day in sickness and in health, like you were there for me when I had the flu, telling me, no, it is my turn to take care of you, my turn to be the nurse. I promise to always have your back through everything that you and we face together in this next adventure called marriage. I know with God, family, and friends we have supporting us on a daily basis that our marriage will be everlasting and strong. Kevin Lieberg Roberts, I love you with all my heart.
At this time, the couple is going to exchange rings.
Tail line.
As we begin to wrap up, I'd like to offer a blessing, a prayer over the two of you. God, as we are moving forward, as this couple is beginning the greatest adventure of their lives, I ask that you walk with them every step of the way. I ask that you pick them up and you carry them when they are feeling that they cannot go on. Pour out your blessings upon them. Remind them why they have done this every day. Bless them, care for them, encircle them with your love. Amen. All right, well, we've got just a couple more things and then you're done. Woo! We get to move on to the party. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pronounce you guys, then I'll introduce you after that. Kiss, and then I'll introduce you after that. All right. So it's my great pleasure to pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Robert Kevin Roberts. Forgot your last name there. Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Roberts. If you would like to, you can kiss your bride.
I guess.
And just a couple more things until we let you guys go. They don't know I'm going to do this, but as the officiant, I claim the right of the first selfie.
Yes!
Turn around this way.
Oh, we.
Right.
Yay!
All right. So,
Pictures.
got a couple announcements before we move on. Family, extended family, stick around. We're going to take some pictures with the couple. The rest of you can make your way over there, where that sign is on that building. A couple buildings down, the gray one. There's a restaurant. That's where the after party is.
Upstairs.
Upstairs. So, family stay. The rest of you can go that way. Couple's going to take some pictures, and then they will join us over there. All right. So it is my great pleasure to introduce to you, for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Kevin Roberts.